I'm Michael Fox, and this is the Prospector Podcast. And I have joining me the CEO of Power Nickel, Terry Lynch. Welcome, Terry.
Hey, Michael, great to be here with you again.
It's great to talk to you again. We saw each other a few weeks ago in Beaver Creek, but I
That
thought
was a hell
my
of a show.
travel it was, but I thought my travel schedule was big. But you've been bouncing all over the place from there.
Yeah, we went to Vancouver, met a bunch of shareholders there, and then off to London for some road shows there, and then Stockholm for the Nordic Fund event, and then back to London for more road shows, and then back in Toronto here now. So, and then we're off to Ottawa shortly to meet with the exploration team and stuff. So it's a busy season for us right now. We're flat out.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we've been able to nail you down for a few moments here to get a catch up and things. But before we do that, for those that aren't familiar with your company, let's give them the 10,000 foot view.
Yeah, sure. So Power Nickel is advancing the advanced stage polymetallic discovery called Nisk. It's in Nemaska, Quebec, which is sort of a little bit south and east of James Bay, right off of Route North. Right, you could drive right to the site, just outside of Nemaska. So it's a really great location. We've made obviously it started off with a name like Power Nickel. It started off as a nickel sulfide project. We had a 3.1 million tons of 1.5% nickel, and then that grew to over 7. Probably posted 43,101, and it's probably closer to 8.5 or so now. In looking for more nickel, we went 5.5 kilometers northeast, looking at an ultramafic expression at surface with an EM anomaly. Drill there, looking for more nickel sulfide, and voila, found the mother lode. Basically found this crazy thing called the Lion Zone, which was the discovery hole was 8 meters of almost 1 ounce platinum, palladium, and copper, and that's 8 meters was a great hole. No longer not even a top 10 hole. So we've reeled off the hits since then. 15 of 16 last winter. Over almost half of them were like 10 meters or 10% copper equivalent. This summer we drilled 13 holes. I guess we're in the 13th right now. So 11 of 13 came in, and we've had some great results there. 2 sets are out now. The first set was out yesterday or the day before. Several, it didn't hit our primary target, hit the halo zone, we call it. We had, 5 and 12 meter sections, 3 holes of, 2.5 to 6% copper equivalent. And then today, this morning, we announced our best intersection to date, hole 70, where we had 32 meters of almost 7% copper equivalent. So I think I dropped the mic there, Michael. It's like, that's a ridiculous hole. And so that's how the Lion Zone's been performing.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's called the Lion Zone because the lion's the king of the jungle, and this thing looks like it's going to be the king of exploration in Quebec for quite a while.
Yeah, it was funny, when we're renaming the thing, one of the joking things was because it's so close to the surface, we said maybe we should call it backhoe, because we could get out there with the backhoe and dig it up. But we ended up going because we had it's previously been called the Wildcat, and we thought, well, let's stick with the feline thing, and lions are obviously, as I say, king of the jungle, and it's certainly been roaring this mineralized area. It's been very, very productive.
Yeah. Now, what really excites me about this new zone is it appears to be even bigger than the initial nickel play that you've developed to the stage that it is.
Yeah, so obviously we brought in Dr. Steve Beresford, who's probably if he's not the best polymetallic scientist in the world, he's in that conversation. He was formerly chief geo at First Quantum, and then at MMG, and then chief scientific officer at IGO. So he spent several $100 million exploring for polymetallic. So he's got a very specific philosophy on them, and this is what he thinks is that probably our Nisk Main, which is 5.5 kilometers to the southwest, is connected subsurface to the Lion Zone, which would make for a very big strike length. But he says for polymetallics, they can be 10, 14 kilometers long. So they're super rare, but when you find them, they're super big. And he believes that underneath it all is this giant nickel sulfide ore body that maybe Nisk Main is like on the fringe of, and that some sort of hydrothermal action happened over this body brought this copper sulfide rich ore or fluid up to the surface where it, pulsated between these plates and created such a high grade zone. And he says that, again, very unusual in the overall scheme of things, but not unusual for polymetallics, and that these high grade shoots can be quite long, kilometers long, and that there could be multiples of them, and that's typically what the case is. And he says the key to successful polymetallic exploration is to target those high grade zones, and he's got some very specific approaches to how to do that. And we actually, as while we were drilling this summer to expand the line zone, the other half of our budget went to some, I would call, longer term research holes. We did several 1,000-meter holes parallel the structure where we put downhole EM in just to vector in on the sulfides to find where the extensions of the zones are, where possible new zones might be, where this giant nickel sulfide ore body might be. So we're gathering all that data. We're getting together as a team in Ottawa on Sunday to Tuesday, just for a 3-day to sort of plot out our strategy for the 30,000-meter fully funded program that starts October 15th and will run through the end of April. So it's a superly exciting time for the team, and we're stoked to get at this what we think is going to be a world-class discovery.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting times. I often liken geologists to be a bit like lawyers. They're always looking for precedent and things to compare what they're looking at with things that have been found in other areas. What is Dr. Beresford suggesting this area resembles in as far as polymetallic finds?
Yeah, so he sees it as an orthomagmatic, discovery, which is what he likes to look for, and other ones like that are, like, when I was going through the analogy of what it was, I said it's not like Voisey Day because we got the precious metals, and wasn't like this copper gold project in Quebec because of the base metals, and he said no, he said, I get what it's like. He says it's like Norelsk, and of course Norelsk is the world's most valuable mine. It's the only $1 trillion in situ value mine in the world. It's been producing for 50 years. And he said, it's like Norelsk or Sakati, another great project in Finland. And he said, I'm not saying you're going to be the next Norelsk, but he said, if you were to find the next Norelsk, it would start like this. So you'd have the nickel sulfide project, and then you'd find this line zone, and then you start to weave in between there and see, okay, how big can this thing be? So, I mean, the cool thing from the investor perspective is, I think we're trading at a fraction of what we've already proven up, what we've already sort of discovered and posted assays on. And yet we've just scratched the surface of what this potentially could be. So the asymmetric upside in this thing is ridiculous, I believe. So that's sort of how we see it.
Yeah, that's definitely an exciting precedent to be chasing down. Now, I know that you guys are meeting this coming weekend, but is he giving you any hints as to what the next round of drilling should be answering for you as you're moving this project forward?
Well, we're obviously going to be stepping out a bit more aggressively in terms of trying to bridge the gap between the two deposits, two mineralized zones. So we'll be we're doing that, and honestly, I haven't seen any of the data yet, and I think it's all just coming in now. So it'll be great to sort of get some perspective from the team as to what they see. But I think what was interesting, in the drill results was, initially in the first wave, we basically went, we thought the line zone was dipping much steeper, and we actually effectively missed the core of the zone, and we hit this halo area, and that was still very productive. Like, 5 meters and 12-meter intersections. You think an elephant is 4 meters. So if people think 5 meters is not so big, but you think how big an elephant is, like that's a big stope, very mineable, size. So, so I think that we were surprised at how prolific that's been in the halo zone even. And then obviously once we realized we missed it with that first wave of holes, like the core zone, and then we went much shallower to the west and hit obviously this big intersection and others. It's given us a whole new perspective of how potentially, wide this thing can be, and even much bigger than we had thought originally. So, which is obviously super encouraging. So that's been the takeaway from the summer drilling program, and we're looking to put that additional data to work and come away with some more great takeaways for the fall and winter program.
Wonderful. When do you expect to announce the plans for fall and winter? And
Well, you know what, we've got a couple more sets of assays to come in the summer, which will come out over the next month or so. We've got the drilling will start October 15th. We'll resume on hole 75, which looks really great, and then we'll continue to press westward on Lion, and probably take some bigger step outs for sure. And then we're also moving eastward from Nisk Main, so we're hoping to meet somewhere in the middle there at some point. So it's going to be a super busy and active fall season for the Power Nickel team.
yeah, and pardon the pun, because I know these are all shallow discoveries, but I think you're just scratching the surface of the potential here, and it's exciting times for the company and its investors.
Yeah, we think so too, Michael. So thanks for having us on, and look forward to keeping you and your audience up to speed with this as it unfolds.
Absolutely. Now, if people want to follow the Power Nickel story, how best do they do so, Terry?
Best thing to do is come to the site, and we're super transparent. There's you can register there and be on the mailing list. We've put all of our drill holes and assays on the thing. We even got Leapfrog there if people have the technical capabilities and want to sort of model a zone themselves. So it's all out there on our website at powernickel.com.
Wonderful. Thanks for finding the time for me today to give everybody an update on the drill results and the excitement that's happening at Lion. And I look forward to see you as our paths cross here later in the fall.
Sounds great, Michael. We'll probably see you in New Orleans. Cheers for now.
Cheers. Power Nickel is a paid sponsor of the Prospector News. The host owns shares in Power Nickel bought at the market for investment purposes. The Prospector News podcast is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not to be taken as investment advice. Listeners need to do their own due diligence and seek advice of a licensed investment advisor.